Okay, so let's have a look at the Leaving Certificate Higher Level Maths Paper 1, 2019, and we're going to look at question 4. Okay, so this question is all about integration. So in part A here we have to find, we just simply have to find the integral of this function here. So let's just write that down. We want to find the integral of 4x cubed minus 6x plus 10. And we are integrating with respect to x. Okay, so all we've got to do here is take each individual term and integrate it, and then don't forget the constant of integration then at the end, the c. So if we integrate, our rule here is to increase the power by 1 and divide by the power. So we're going to get 4x, increase the power by 1, which is the power of 4, and then we're going to divide by that power. Here we do exactly the same thing. We take minus 6, we take the x, increase the power by 1, it's already to the power of 1, so increase it to 2, and then divide by the power. Here we have an x here, it's x to the power of 0, so increase that to 1, and divide by 1 if you like. Now that's it really, but we've got to, of course, add the constant of integration, because when you work backwards and differentiate, you should end up with this, and there may be a constant out here that would give us a 0 when we differentiate. Anyway, let's just tidy this up a little bit. Our 4's here will disappear. Well, 4 divided by 4 is 1, so we just get x to the power of 4. Here we've got 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Here we have 10 divided by 1, which is just 10x. So that's what we end up with then, just x to the power of 4 minus 3x squared plus 10x plus c. Okay, and that's it. So let's have a look at part B then. Now in part B we have the graph of a cubic function f of x. It's not the same one as the one in part A, but it's a cubic function. We're given one of the roots here, which is 2, 0. We're not given the other two roots. And the graph is not to scale. Now we're told that if we differentiate this function here, we get 6x squared minus 54x plus 109, and we've got to show that f of x is 2x cubed minus 27x squared plus 109x minus 126. So all we've really got to do is just do the opposite to differentiation, if you like. We've got to integrate. So we're going to take this function here, this differentiated function, f dash x. So we're going to take 6x squared minus 54x plus 109, and we're going to integrate it with respect to x. That should give us our original function. The problem here is that we will end up with a c, and we have to show that c is equal to minus 126. But let's integrate this anyway and see what we get. If we integrate this, we get, let's see, 6x. We have a squared, so we increase that by 1 and divide by the power then, which is 3. We've got minus 54x. It's already to the power of 1, so increase that by 1. So we get 2 and divide by 2. Here we've got a 109. And the x here is to the power of 0, increase it by 1 and divide by 1 here, and then we end up with our plus c, our constant of integration as well. Okay, so if we tidy this up here, we get 6 divided by 3, which is 2x cubed minus, we're going to divide here, so that's going to give us 2 into 5 is 2, and then we get 7 here, and that's x squared plus 109x plus c. Now we were given this function here, and we were asked to show that it's equal to this. So we have the 2x cubed, we have the minus 27x squared, we have the plus 109x, but we don't have the minus 126. We have our constant of integration here, c, so we've got to look for this minus 126. So how are we going to do that? Well, we know that this here is our original function, and we do have one of the points on this curve here. We know that 2, 0 is on this curve. So let's just put that in, and that should give us our c. So we know that this is y, if you like, here. Okay, so if we take the point 2, 0, we know that this is our x, this is our y, so we can just put it in here and see what happens. So we put the y is equal to 0 here, and we'll put our 2 in here, so we get 2 times 2 cubed minus 27 times 2 squared plus 109 times 2 plus c. So you can see we have everything here except the c, so all we've got to do is just simplify all of that. So let's see, we get 0 is equal to 2 2's 4, 2 4's 8, 2 8's 16, so we'll get a 16 here. Here we get 4, and 4 times 27, well, 4 7's 28, carry 2, 2 2's 4, let's see, sorry, 2 2's 4, 4 7's 28, 4 2's are 8, 9, 10, so we get 108 here, 108, and here we've just got to double the 109, so that's just 2 9 9's 18, so we get 218 here plus c. Okay, so let's just keep going. We get 0 is equal to, we just got to add all these up, so let's see, we'll get, we've got to take 16 minus 108 plus 218, I think that will give us 126, if my mental calculation is correct, so that's 126, and then that will just give us c is equal to minus 126, and that's actually what we were required to get here, minus 126. So in other words, our function then f of x is going to be this function here, 2x cubed minus 27x squared plus 109x, and then our c here is minus 126, and that's all we were required to do. It just says, let's see, given that f dash x is this thing here, show that f of x is equal to this function here, and we've done that by integrating this differentiated function here. Okay, so let's look at the last part then. We just have to find the coordinates of b and c. Now b and c are also points on the curve on the x-axis, so we know that one of the points, or point A here, is 2 0, so that means x is equal to 2 is a root of f of x. So by our factor theorem here, that means x minus 2 is a factor of f of x by the factor theorem. So what we can do in fact is divide this into our function. That will give us our other factor. So what we can do is take x minus 2, and we're just going to divide this into 2x cubed minus 27x squared plus 109x, and then minus 126. So this will give us our other factor, which should be a quadratic, which we can factorize and find the other two roots then. Okay, so let's work through this. So x into 2x cubed is 2x squared. Multiply the 2x squared by these two, write our answer down here. So 2x squared times x, 2x cubed, plus times minus minus, 2x squared times 2 is 4x squared. Okay, so let's just put a bracket around this, and we're going to subtract. Okay, so plus 2x cubed minus 2x cubed, that will give us 0. Minus minus, this becomes a plus here. So we've got minus 27x squared plus 4x squared. That's minus 23x squared. We're going to bring this down here, so that's just plus 109x. Then we start again. X into minus 23x squared, well, that will give us minus 23x. Now multiply this minus 23x by these two, write our answer under here. Minus 23x times x is minus 23x squared. minus times minus is plus, 23x times minus 23x times minus 2 is plus 46x. Line under here, and again we're just going to subtract. Okay, so again this will give us 0. Minus times plus is minus, so this is a minus 46x plus 109. That will give us 63x. Take the minus 126, bring that down, and start again. X into 63x is plus 63. Multiply the plus 63 by these two, put our answer under here, and you get 63x. And 63 times minus 2 is minus 126. So that's perfect. We see it is a factor. It does divide in with 0 remainder. We'll get a 0 here. And this is our other factor. In other words, this cubic expression here is just simply x minus 2. That's just going to be x minus 2 times 2x squared minus 23x plus 63. Now we're looking for the roots, so we want to know where all of this is equal to 0, where y is equal to 0. So we know that x is equal to 2 is one of our roots, so x minus 2 here is one of our factors. What we've got to do, just break this down a little bit more. We've got to factorize this quadratic expression here. And if we factorize this quadratic expression here, we'll get a 2x here, an x here. We've got 7 9s, which will give us 63. So we can put the 7 here and the 9 here will work. We want a plus, so it has to be plus plus or minus minus. Because this is a minus here, we're going to put in a minus and a minus here. So what we've got here is our 3 basic factors. So that means our roots then, the roots are x is equal to 2, because x minus 2 is equal to 0, so x is equal to 2. 2x minus 9 is equal to 0. That will give us x is equal to 9 over 2. So in other words, all I did was 2x minus 9 is equal to 0, 2x is equal to 9, x is equal to 9 over 2. So that's all I did there. Here we got x minus 7 equal to 0, so that gives us x is equal to plus 7. So our a, we're already given. Our a is, I'll just do this, a is 2, 0. B is this one here. This is 4.5. 2.5, 9 divided by 2 is just 4.50. And our C is just going to be 7, 0. And that's it. That's all we were asked to do, I think. Let me just double check that before we move on. Find the coordinates of the point B and the point C. So we've done that. If you look at the graph here, we were given this. X is equal to 2 as a root, so x minus 2 is a factor. We divided x minus 2 into our function, this function here, to find a quadratic function which we factorized. And because we had the 3 factors, we had the 3 roots then. And that's it for this particular question.